Alright, so HODL versus SPENDL. Why you shouldn't just HODL your Bitcoin? It's a presentation and I will try to convince you why you shouldn't just stack your sats and save it for the future, but why you should actually start using it in your daily life, start buying products for Bitcoin. If you have any questions during the presentation, or you are just afraid to ask after we finish the presentation, you can scan this code. It will bring you to the unfold Slido. And in this app, you can ask any question you like. You can also upload the questions for the others, and we will cover that later. Alright, so first let's explain for all of you that are new to Bitcoin that who don't know the concept of HODL. It's basically a cultural phenomenon in the Bitcoin space. It started in December 18, 2013 in a Bitcoin forum called Bitcoin Talks, where one user who was desperate of the Bitcoin price falling down, he was drinking and he misspelled the word hold to HODL. And since then, it got a lot of traction. It was used for many meals, it was used in television, in newspapers, and since then, every time when Bitcoin starts to fall, then people are posting on social media that you shouldn't sell, you should just hold it. So it's a long-term investment strategy. It's basically the people that are sharing this point of view, they are telling you that you should always just stack your sats and you should never sell your Bitcoin. And many of those people, they just think that Bitcoin is meant to be a store of value, that you shouldn't actually use it as some money. They think of Bitcoin more as a digital gold. But when Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto and the Bitcoin white paper was published, the title of the Bitcoin white paper actually is Bitcoin a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And I will read quickly the first sentence. A fully peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution. So from the early beginning, Bitcoin was meant to be used as money. It was meant to be used as a peer-to-peer electronic cash, money that you can use between two parties without the involvement of any financial institution such as a bank. So why is the HODL concept a problem? HODL concept is a problem because it limits Bitcoin's use as money. And I believe that at the moment, financial institutions and governments, they already understand that they cannot destroy Bitcoin. It's impossible at this point. So if they cannot destroy Bitcoin, they will at least try to control how it is used. And how can they control how Bitcoin is used? Well, they already do so. They are controlling the on and off ramps. For example, if you want to buy Bitcoin on an online exchange, you want to send there your fiat money, your dollars, euros, or money. You have to provide a lot of information. There are many steps involved for you to be able to just buy, to exchange your fiat money to Bitcoin, right? So this is the first thing. They want to control the inflows to Bitcoin. The second thing is they want to push the ETFs, they want to push the reserve asset narratives because it helps them with making Bitcoin just a digital gold, just a reserve asset, just a reserve currency, but not really being used as a money. And that's the first thing. They don't want us to be free, they don't want us to be sovereign, they don't want us to use money was meant to be used as peer-to-peer money system. So there are three main functions of money. First of them is that money should be medium of exchange. So you should be able to buy products or services with your money. If you go to the store, you see their products and you can use your money that you stored, that you saved over the time, you can use it to buy products. The second thing is measure of value. Measure of value is very connected to the medium of exchange because it means that you're getting used to the prices. Every day when you go to the supermarket, you have some idea, you have some intuitive idea what is the fair value of the products and services you're buying, right? And you can imagine a situation, for example, most of you here are foreigners, you probably spend most of your life living in another country than Paraguay. When you came here, and when you went to the supermarket, you weren't used to pay in guaranis, right? You were used to paying in dollars or euros or any other world currency used before. So what you had to use is some calculator, some converter to get some idea what is the value of the products you're buying, right? And it's the same with the Bitcoin. So that's the measure of value. Store of value is also very important, and that's where the current fiat money are failing the most because of the inflation. So store of value means that you basically want your money to preserve its value over the time. So when you get them and you save them for rainy days, 10 years in the future, you can still buy the same or more products with the money you have, right? Now let's talk about the Bitcoin. Bitcoin at this point clearly is a medium of exchange because there is only a small percentage of the people that are using this money, and also there are not many places that accept Bitcoin directly. You usually have to use some other service, some intermediary like a fintech solution like Sapo or Red.Pay or UsetPay or Better. That will convert your Bitcoin real time, so you are able to actually buy the products you want, right? You get it from, but it's not the Bitcoin that goes to the counterparty, it's the fiat money. Measure of value. Because we are not using it in our daily lives and the price tags in the shops are priced in Bitcoin, we don't know what is the value of 1 Satoshi or 1,000 Satoshi. We don't know. We still have to use the converter, so it also fails as a measure of value. However, Bitcoin is really good store of value, and we saw it during the times. When you store your Bitcoin for more than 4 years, you basically cannot lose money. It appreciates really fast, and of course it's very volatile because it's still quite small. The market cap of Bitcoin is currently roughly as the market cap of the biggest S&P 500 company. So why should we care about the dysfunctions? Why should we care to use Bitcoin as a medium of exchange? Well, the thing is that if no one directly exchanges products or services for your Bitcoin, you will always fully depend on the goodwill of intermediaries. It doesn't matter if it's some exchange office or if it's the payment card provider, the fintech solution I mentioned, like Suppo or RedPay or whatever, but there will always be a party in the middle of your transaction. And it means that you're not sovereign. There is still some point of failure, some point of control in the middle of the transaction. So what is the solution? I believe the solution is a concept that is called SPENDL. It's a variation of spend and HODL. And basically it means that you spend and replace the Bitcoin you spend, right? So ideally you want to buy Bitcoin and spend part of it and replace the part you spend. And the people, and I invite you to start thinking about Bitcoin the same way as money. They want the Bitcoin economy to grow because it means that you can use your Bitcoin in more places. There are many merchants around the town that are already accepting Bitcoin. The number is around like 25, 30 businesses where you can buy products or services directly with Bitcoin, so you can just install your Lightning wallet, go there, and pay for the products without any intermediary. And we want more options, we want more places like this, because ideally we want to use Bitcoin 100% of the time, all the time, without touching the fiat system, without touching the fiat money. And more places like this we will have, better for us, because it means more sovereignty, more freedom. But it also influences the Bitcoin price, because more we spend, more merchants we on board, which means more adoption. Like, imagine, like right now we have a Palo Santo accepting Bitcoin. We already have a second hub, eHop, that is accepting Bitcoin. When more and more those businesses will be joining the party, all their competitors will think, okay, probably I should do the same thing, right, to be competitive. Because they will see that the people are coming and that they are spending their Bitcoin then, right? And with more adoption, it means also influence of Bitcoin price, so it will go higher. And that's not everything, because we will be able to use Bitcoin 100% of the time, we will be more free, more sovereign. So here we can see, like, you might think about the question, okay, but what about the situation when the Bitcoin price drops? When there is this part of the cycle when Bitcoin is done and everybody is in disbelief. Why should I spend my precious Bitcoin at this point of the times? Well, again, if you buy more than you spend, you're still fine, right? So what you can do is basically you can set a strategy that is called DCAS. I'll talk about it later, where you basically, every month or every week, you buy a certain amount of Bitcoin, and you dedicate part of it for the spendings. So instead of using fiat for those transactions, you're using Bitcoin, and you count with it. And because you're doing this regularly, it averages over the time. When the Bitcoin cycle is in its lows, you're buying more sats with your fiat money, you also spend more sats. But because you're doing it at roughly the same time, it averages. So you're not losing money actually. So it's important to keep in mind, and this is in finances in general. You should always have higher inflows than the outflows. So this is the DCAS strategy, which is dollar cost, average, and spend. So buy the same amount in fiat terms every month for savings, plus keep something for spendings in BTC to support the growth of the local economy, to support local merchants, and motivate more merchants to join the party. So with DCA, dollar cost averaging, it's a popular strategy because it's low stress strategy. Because you're averaging your price of enter to Bitcoin, you don't have to think that much about the volatility. It's not like the common mistake people do, that they have a lot of money and during the Bitcoin upside of the cycle, they decide to exchange all of their money to Bitcoin, and then suddenly Bitcoin price drops and they are sad and they are selling the Bitcoin in the worst time because they think that it's over, that Bitcoin will never go up. But it's a common mistake. So what you should do is to exchange your fiat to Bitcoin over every month or every 2 weeks or so, and start small. Don't exchange that much, and over time when you are more confident and you learn more about Bitcoin, then you can start investing more and more. And so this is the strategy I highly recommend. Now let's compare the HODL and SPENDL. So in terms of the value, with the HODL, the value of Bitcoin will go up because it's the most scarce asset on the earth. With the SPENDL, it's the same. I probably think that with the SPENDL, the value will go even higher because, of course, of this higher adoption will be faster. With the privacy, HODL is great because it's very simple strategy. So if you buy Bitcoin and just HODL, you don't think that much about the privacy. With more transaction, of course, you have more footprint on the blockchain. The simplicity is again in favor of HODL because you have to do the exchanges and the transactions. HODL is just so simple. But in terms of the volatility, I believe that with the SPENDL and because of the merchant involvement, the volatility will decrease. With the HODL, people are often pushed to realize their profits when the cycle is in their height, so they are selling and getting rid of it and trying to time the market. But if you're using the Bitcoin in your own lives as money, you don't have such a need to actually getting rid of it, right? You want to keep using Bitcoin. You don't want to get rid of it and buy shitcoin and fiat. The circulation, of course, again is in the favor of SPENDL because it's more used, there's more transaction volume. And in terms of the sovereignty, again, SPENDL wins because you can transfer value directly without any intermediary. With the HODL, there will always have to be someone that will want to buy your Bitcoin, and the economy cannot grow enough with the HODL risk-based of the HODL. So this is the cheat sheet for the SPENDL. So buy Bitcoin peer-to-peer, because with peer-to-peer, you're actually minimizing the footprint you make, the privacy. So if you buy peer-to-peer without KYC, you're basically limiting the footprint and you're gaining more privacy, almost the same like a minute. What is also recommended is get paid in Bitcoin, because if you don't have to exchange your fiat to Bitcoin, it's much simpler to you, because you will just start using it right away, spend Bitcoin, and of course save what you don't spend. General advice. And for more new businesses, so if you know about new merchants that aren't yet accepting Bitcoin, ask them, invite them to our meetups, and offer them that you can help them with setting up the Lightning wallet and so on. And of course, help others do the same thing, right? Because like we are doing great things here with Bitcoin Paraguay, and all the people involved are amazing, helping people, helping merchants, helping everybody get on board, but it's not enough. Like, you have to actually help us scale this thing, because we only have 24 hours each day and 7 days a week. So we cannot help everybody, sadly. Here I invite you to scan this code and I bring you to the materials. We have several presentations about how to start accepting Bitcoin. We have there like how to exchange Bitcoin, how to start using the PIN wallets, and some resources and so on. And what is good, if you're not English speaker, those materials are mostly in Spanish, so I invite you to check it out and study it. And that's everything from the presentation, so now the question time. If you have any question, either you can raise your hand or I will go to Slido and we'll see if there are any questions. The first question I can hear is, are you a Bitcoin maximalist? Is Litecoin or shitcoin? Yeah, I don't believe in any other cryptocurrency, only Bitcoin, and I recommend you to only stick to Bitcoin. Do we have any other question? Okay, there is.
John, what's your take on taxes? These exchanges, services or sales, should they be involved or your opinion regarding that?
I don't know if I can do right. You're asking about the exchanges. About the exchanges. You're asking about the exchanges.
Not exchanges, but particular transactions. Someone buys a product and provides a service. Are you an advocate for invoicing those transactions and paying taxes?
Okay. This very much depends on where you are. I believe there are jurisdictions that are pretty strict. Here in Paraguay, I think it's pretty benevolent. What I recommend to you probably is to invoice it in Guarani, not accept Bitcoin. You know, it's the safest way to do it, because we never know, like, right now it's benevolent and nobody really cares about Bitcoin, but who knows in 1, 2, 3 years what the situation is going to be like. It's not certain, so I always recommend people to rather go this way, to invoice in Paraguay but accept Bitcoin. Okay, well, as for Italy, there is a question in the audience. Susan, if anybody has a question, just right? Okay. So the next question, are there any strong public numbers that when imported to WEX, will give me access to other WEX laws? Starting from the beginning is often slow. Yes, if you ask my number, you probably Meetup can increase dramatically the reach. So after this presentation, we will go through the lightning onboarding and guest onboarding where we can share the comments. I don't know who was asking, but we can definitely, you can come to me and you can share the comments so you can increase your network effectively. Can I buy your sunglasses in your website and you accept professional manufacturing? Great. I'm not selling them. Actually, I got them from the Vexel team, so but they're pretty cool. What is the amount of Bitcoin I should hold before getting an offline wallet? Well, this is very individual. I think you should always start here at the beginner. If you don't really know what Bitcoin is, you're beginning your Bitcoin journey, I always recommend to start with the Lightning Wallet first, because it's the simplest way to set you up on Bitcoin. Of course, Lightning Wallet shouldn't be used for the high levels, because it's not as secure as the cold storage hardware wallets. So I don't know, it pretty much depends. If it's the custodian, I don't recommend registering them more than, I don't know, $300, $400 worth of Bitcoin. If it's a self-custodian, like a wallet, you can probably double this number and maybe triple this number. It's very individual. How do you feel? It also depends on what is the high number for you. What's the value you're not comfortable taking with you everywhere you go? Because that will be used now on your phone. The next question is, who owns this? Oh, I lost the... Okay, the next one. Can I use my Western graph on Excel in the near future? Yeah, I was asking this question many times. I was discussing it with the people from Western, but they still believe that the programmers have better network impact than Nostr. Nostr, unfortunately, I'm a big fan of Nostr, but unfortunately it's still quite a niche thing. It's very popular among the Bitcoiners, but the XPRIZE, they shared some numbers with me, and they have much more number of people that have the phone numbers, because everybody here has a phone number. There is not a person in this room that doesn't have a phone number, right? So you can reach much better network effect with phone numbers. But I still believe that in the future, when Nostr gets more traction, I believe that going to Nostr. Do you think drug dealers, the drug war will move to Bitcoin crypto, asking for help? Well, I don't recommend using Bitcoin for your drug deals, because especially if you use on-chain for the transactions. Because all the transactions are stored on public ledger, what is called blockchain. It's public. Everybody in this room can go to the website. It's called mempool space, and you can see all the transactions that happen since the early days of Bitcoin. So I recommend using this because it can pretty much backfire on you later on. Is PBA manipulated coming for this? Yeah, it would be great. It would be great. I also had this question in the past, but I believe that they have some technical problem. They are using libraries that they aren't able to use with the PBA. If anybody has a question in the room, you can also ask me that. Or pass you the mic. events. So thank you very much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed, and we will continue in a moment with the onboarding part. Thank you.